This is Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening all. I'm Shashina Roll. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, the Bahamas Union of Teachers still celebrating a significant accomplishment. The organization now has a new contract in place, and executives are confident that it will help to move the profession forward. Tonight, Sabrina Brown talks with union leaders here on Grand Bahama.
Area Vice President of the Bahamas Union of Teachers, Quintin LaRota, says he's happy that the union was able to secure a new industrial agreement for the thousands of educators across the country. While being careful not to disclose the financial aspect of the contract, LaRota describes the document as fair, considering the country's economic state.
Anyone who picks up our collective bargaining agreement, it becomes obvious that it was composed and negotiated by people of high intellect, and we wanted that. We didn't just want the document to have the benefits and increases in salaries and so forth. What we wanted also is that the document, when you pick it up, you knew that it was prepared and constructed by teachers. We had some outstanding HR issues that the president attempted to address via the negotiation process. I think those were the greatest challenge in that.
Since the old contract expired in 2013, BUT executives have been working to secure a new one. The union was successful at getting a new agreement in the face of a turbulent situation at the executive level. President Belinda Wilson, who started the negotiations, has been placed on suspension for a second time.
During the process, once the president was suspended, she tried on several occasions to stall the negotiations or to stop them entirely. And at one point, the government stopped the negotiations because they were advised to not negotiate with someone who have the organization in court. And that's what they said to us, because Ms. Wilson had put us in court for matters relating to the suspension. Once she's suspended again, negotiations resume.
The union leader says he believes it was the union's style of negotiating that led to the new agreement.
In the labor movement, and the public have this perception too, that in order to get anything done, you have to be sort of boisterous, aggressive, belligerent. There's a time and a place for that. But that can't be the modus operandi. We must never give up our militancy. But we have to temper militancy with reason and with respect. And I think if we continue to do that, we'll see a lot more get done.
Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
A leading hotel property is investing in Bahamians through a training program with College of the Bahamas Culinary Branch. Officials say it is a part of an ongoing strategy to deliver a quality vacation experience while giving Bahamian employees the opportunity to be certified in the hospitality industry. Memories Resort is still a new property, having been on Grand Bahama for just a year and a half. With over 90% occupancy and continuing to fare well on the island, management has decided to partner with the College of the Bahamas Culinary and Hospitality Management Institute to train their employees in guest services. Director of Human Resources Mary Culmer says currently 38 supervisors are being trained.
This particular course, which is the Certified Hospitality Supervisor, it is the highest professional certification in the hospitality industry. And at the end of which they will take an exam, which is an international exam, providing, if they make the pass, of course, the certification needed. It is our goal and hope that through effective supervision, we will have a very productive and happy workforce.
General Manager of Memories, Gabrielle Varela, says they are excited to invest in the natural talent of Bahamian employees.
All the operation is based on the people who touch the guests. So if we invest and prepare them, we're going to have better results in the guest satisfaction. As everybody knows, here in Grand Bahama, this hotel has to be in a big eye, and all the customers who come to Grand Bahama is the first time that they come. So if we are not If we are not sure that service that we are giving to them, they're never going to back. So that's why it's basic.
Executive Director of COB's Culinary and Hospitality Branch, Dr. Sophia Roll, says they are pleased to work with the supervisors, whom are very eager to learn.
We're talking to them specifically about how they manage those employees under them. They have an upline, but they also are responsible for persons underneath them and how they communicate with those individuals and how they respond to them. Simple things like scheduling and scheduling in sufficient time that others can plan their lives. That's very important, and it was an eye-opener for them.
Culmer says the college has partnered with the Institute for the next 3 years.
In the month of June, we're going to identify about 10 managers or supervisors who will go through the certified department head training. And those persons, it's called the Train the Trainer program, and it will provide internal training throughout the year. We can put small training with our employees, following of which we will have several months of customer service training for our employees. So it will take some time to take our employees through that program, and that is also a certified customer service training program.
In other news, Abaconians commending the government on its efforts to promote food security. They're giving full support to the national initiative that is aimed at diversifying the Bahamian economy. Joan Davis-Roll reports.
The agricultural industry said to be thriving on the island of Abaco, the leading agribusiness event held recently on that northern island, highlighting the significant strides those involved in this multi-million-dollar sector continue to make. Many are endorsing the government's call for a reduction in the $100 million annual food import bill. Among those supporting the initiative and promoting food security and sustainability are Senator the Honorable Gary Sawyer and Abaco farm owner Brock Pinder.
Well, it's nice, you know, it's a time that they could come and showcase what they got, and I saw some things here already I didn't know that, you know, was happening, so it's, I think it helps inspire people to, you know, continue, and possibly new people get in it. You know, anytime you're totally dependent on the outside world, you know, in the time of crisis, you could be in a very serious predicament, so no, I think it's a good thing.
I think it's very important. This is definitely the way the Bahamas needs to go, and any agricultural business really needs to come out and show support for this. We're a big nursery on the island, and this obviously puts our name out there even further. Well, Pine West Nursery's been around for almost 30 years now. It's a family-owned business, and we produce anything from seeds to final product picking of your fruit or harvest. We specialize in one-on-one customer service. We can deal with someone that has their own personal backyard garden, or we also do $100,000 landscaping projects.
Officials say that when it comes to agricultural businesses, the focus is not only on farming, but here in Abaco, animal husbandry as well. From pigs to sheep and other livestock, there are said to be growing opportunities in this area. Just ask Leanne Kagan.
And I've been farming sheep now for 8 years. Came home from university in '91, went into agriculture then. We ran a citrus operation on Abaco for many years, and unfortunately that didn't survive the canker epidemic, and we turned our hand to something else. Started the flock with 7 animals, and I've now gotten to the point where I can sell breeding ewes to other farmers and continue to do what we're doing with the school kids. So we're on the road to being successful.
Senator Sawyer says there's definitely a demand.
I love mutton, but I got to go somewhere to get it, you know, and then you got to call in advance to even get any. And, you know, we import millions of dollars of just, you know, mutton every year. So, yeah, it's a little bit in Long Island, a little bit in Eleuthera, but not even anywhere near to even, it's really amongst friends and family is what it is, you know, it's not, you can't just go and buy it.
Joan Davis-Roll, ZNS Network News.
Well, it's been 2 weeks now since the tragic passing of Bahamian entertainer Johnny Kemp. The man known for his song Just Got Paid was found dead on a beach in Jamaica, and a memorial service is now set for May 11th in New York. Tonight, family members are talking about the devastating loss.
And he always said that he would be a star.
And that he definitely was. Even as a baby, Johnny Kemp's siblings say he wore the biggest smile, and as a man he had the gentlest heart. A man who loved family, music, and his God.
Johnny was always a cute good looking, and lovable. Everybody liked him, and one of the things that I remembered was that, you know, Mommy didn't have to go looking for godparents for him. That the people came and said, that's going to be my godchild.
I always have these talent shows, and Johnny and I used to always go to these talent shows, and we always used to win.
When we moved to Freeport, he then went to the casino, where he was still in school when he was at the casino. You understand? And he was the only one that had one of he probably had the only the red afro, the only big red afro in the Bahamas. But after that, he moved to New York, and that was around about 1980. And he moved there with a band called the Foxfire.
Even though they grew up as a singing family, Kemp eventually branched off, and while in New York, his self-titled debut album came out in 1986, and he scored a minor hit with Just Another Lover. True success came the following year with the hit Just Got Paid hitting #1. His sisters recall visiting their newly found famed brother in New York.
He sang at the nightclub, and while he was singing, I didn't even know where I was. I just started singing that song and dancing and everything. I think Johnny was even shocked to see me dancing and everybody. And I met all these stars, Ashley and Simpson, the stars from The Color Purple, and everybody, oh, you're Johnny Kemp's sister. And I mean, I felt like a celebrity that night.
Kemp loved the beach, according to his sisters, and that's where he found himself when he visited Grand Bahama last year when his father fell ill.
Every day he would go, and when he came back, he had these rocks, these little stones that he collected. So every day he would come and put some of them in front of Ginny's house.
He was a Bahamian ambassador around the world. Everywhere he went, he talked about the Bahamas, and he wanted people to know that the Bahamas was the best place ever. It, was about love, and he also talked about God.
His father later died, and now the family says this is a double blow when they found out that their bright star died after falling and hitting his head on a beach in Jamaica.
This interview now is kind of making it seem real, because this is the first time we're really talking about it.
I just was so weak. I took it with the weakness. I kept saying, no, that can't be real.
I found out about his death. I still, to this day, don't believe it. And I'm still in denial.
When I told my kids, and we told my nieces and nephews, they were like, especially the girls, they were like screaming.
I'm still trying to work out a deal that, at some point you'll get the news that, hey, it was all a joke. And I know in the back of my mind also that deal ain't gonna happen.
You just try to deal with it as best as possible, and let the joy of the Lord just be your strength.
Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, continues right after this.
Bringing news that matters to you. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. They play an important role in society. They help those who are struggling or who are unable to help themselves. Social workers were honored last month for all that they do to make life easier for those in need. Tonight, Italia Hall introduces us to a woman who got the top award.
It is a safety net of sorts for those falling on hard times, and sometimes those who work within this important agency may be overlooked. But the Social Service Ministry is doing its part to recognize those who go above and beyond the call of duty. Several social workers were recently awarded for service of excellence. Senior Welfare Officer Brenna Mae Cooper was one of those persons.
We deal with persons from the cradle to the grave, and you never can plan for hard times, and persons are never looking forward to that, but we always, life happens, and social services is that organization, that entity that acts as a support system for persons who find themselves in need.
Cooper is the first social worker of the year, and she says it's an honor.
This is the first, right? So of course it was totally, I was not expecting it. I do what I do because I love doing what I do. I came into the profession just wanting to be the best at what I do. Everybody have their own style of doing things, but of course to be named the first social worker of the year, I am honored, humbled, and of course honored because somebody would have seen something good that I would have done.
Cooper says this award has motivated her to do more, and she encourages others who may feel like their work is not noticed to continue putting their best work forth.
You know your value, you know your worth. You know what it is that you put in to your job. Maybe not even social work, whatever it is that you do, you know that you do it with a good heart, good intentions. Don't stop. Don't be discouraged, even though sometimes we are. Don't give up. Continue to give the good fight because somebody recognizes it.
Italia Hall, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Tally. Well, today marks the launch of Lupus Awareness Month. Lupus is a condition that occurs when the body's immune system attacks its organs and tissues. It is a condition that is quite common in young women, especially blacks and Hispanics. The Lupus Bahamas organization coming together today with the Ministry for Grand Bahama to host a number of events this month to educate more Bahamians on the condition. Members of the committee visited the Minister for Grand Bahama, Dr. Michael Darble, this morning.
We have a very special guest who will be in Grand Bahama, Dr. Golding, who is an expert from Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine, and he will be in Grand Bahama for a special lecture on Friday, May the 22nd, in Grand Bahama. Once again, I'm encouraging the entire Grand Bahama community to come out to support all the activities that will create additional awareness of lupus, particularly on Grand Bahama, a disease that affects women predominantly, but we are also noticing an increased incidence of the illness here on the island.
Well, purple is the color that represents lupus, and organizers Tamika Lightbourne and Kayleen Newton say it's their vision to constantly strive to empower and encourage those living with lupus.
Here on Grand Bahama, we would like to continue with the celebration and continue to raise awareness in the area of lupus. Our first initiative for the entire month is Pop for Lupus. That is Put on Purple for Lupus. We want to encourage everyone on Grand Bahama to wear purple every Friday in the month of May. We'll have our annual public forum that is free, that is no charge to the public. We're encouraging everyone to come out to the forum. It will be May 22nd at the Foster B. Pestina Center at 7 p.m. And our guest featured speaker for this year is Dr. Ahmed Golding from Baltimore, Maryland.
In addition to what the president indicated, the walk that is going to be held on May 16th at the Foster B. Pestina Center, or it starts at the Foster B. Pestina Center, the donation is $10. And this donation includes water and fruits, and this donation helps and aids Lupus Bahamas with our mandate of education and awareness in the community.
In making a name for himself by creating greeting cards. He says the business is now growing, and with Mother's Day approaching, he's encouraging others to treat their loved ones to something special. Italia Hall has this story.
He's been in the business for some 5 years now, creating uniquely Bahamian greeting cards for every occasion. Writer and designer James Mitchell says someone taught him the art some time ago, and that's how it all begun.
I'm from a friend of mine, a Mexican, how to do art, and he taught me how to sketch and how to do details and shade and stuff like that, and I wanted to put it to good use, and I decided to make greeting cards. I'm going to call my company One of a Kind Greeting Cards, and it's strictly Bahamian.
Mitchell says he puts a lot of time and effort into his work to touch the lives of others.
I write poems to go along with my cards that come strictly from me. There are no other, the poems are not from anybody else. I like art, and I also like to do things that people enjoy. I always like to express my inner feeling in my work, and a lot of people say that's why my work is so good.
Mother's Day is approaching, and he is looking forward to the community for support.
Mother's Day is a special day. A lot of people when you ask them to buy a Mother's Day card, they say, well, oh, my mother is dead. It never says my Mother's Day, it says Mother's Day. This means that your wife is also a mother. So what better reason to give her a card that tells her how you appreciate what she does raising your kids. A lot of men don't ever think about their wife as a mother. They always say, well, she's not my mother. That's not so. It says Mother's Day, not my Mother's Day. I'm hiring a few girls, and I'm going to put them in different places, and they're going to go around to all the stores, all the businesses, and see if anybody is interested. I hope that we can sell as many as 500 cards this year. Maybe should be able to, because there are enough people here in Freeport that we can sell at least 500 cards.
To choose that special card for your loved one, you can contact one-of-a-kind greeting cards at telephone number 646-8977. Italia Hall, ZNS Network News.
And now to our nightly feature, Ask the Doctor.
I'm Dr. Monique Pratt. Welcome. Dawn inquired, a nurse told me that I had protein in my urine. What does that mean? Thank you for your question, Dawn. Protein in the urine is a condition called proteinuria, and it can be potentially very serious. Your kidneys are the organs in your body that help to clean your blood by filtering out all the waste and byproducts and gets rid of them in your urine when you go to the bathroom. When your kidneys are healthy, they allow very little protein to escape in your urine. This means that if there's protein in your urine when it is tested, your kidneys may not be functioning properly. Sometimes medications, infections, or injuries that affect the kidneys can result in protein in the urine. But two of the main causes are diabetes and hypertension, also called high blood pressure. There are generally no early signs of kidney disease, but one of the first indications of problems with your kidneys is usually protein in the urine. This is why it is extremely important to see a doctor or a nephrologist, a kidney specialist, if you are ever told that you have protein in your urine, so that they can determine the cause. If you have a question or concerned about your health, please post it on PHA Bahamas on Facebook, email askthedrbahamas@gmail.com, or call me at 439-4471. I'm Dr. Monique Pratt, and this has been Ask the Doctor.
Stay with us, Ricardo Lightborn, as a check on sports when we return.
Welcome to Sports, everybody. I'm Ricardo Lightborn. The IAAF BTC World Bahamas Relays is all systems go for Saturday. Earlier today, right here at Atlantis, they held the press conference introducing some of the athletes that are going to be running. Usain Bolt, Shanae Miller here, Chris Brown, you name it, Alex and Felix, and also the president of IAAF, Lemmy Diak, also speaking about how wonderful it is to be here in the Bahamas, and we can expect 2 wonderful days of competition. Now, if you are going to be coming to the relays, only a few more tickets left, but the bottom line is we're in for great competition. As for fishing, and also think about this, there is some boxing and a whole lot much going on in the country, but for right now the focus is on the Bahamas and the relays.
The second extreme kayaking fishing tournament taking place on Saturday with 60 anglers participating and over 100 spectators. Richard Trico of the Bahamas Ministry of Tourism says the event is a major initiative to bring visitors to the island.
This is the second year and we've grown over 65% more than last year, and it seems to be growing and growing every year. The people are excited because the great thing about the people, the kayakers, they have a passion for fishing and they love to do this, and they come on down and they really have a good time.
Directors of the Extreme Kayaking Company says this year has been a huge success.
We had the tournament here last year. We got multiple marlin, lots of really good fish. It was a blast. Part 1 this year, a little slower, but we got some really nice reef fish, some beautiful colored fish. And then today, once again, we got some awesome fish. We got big mahi-mahi, some wahoos, so we're really excited.
We've doubled. The funny thing is we've doubled in all of our events. We have a Selfish Smackdown, which happens in January, and then we have the Battle of the Bahamas. Now, we had 30 anglers last year, and now we're 60, so that's doubling. And all they're bringing their family members, they're bringing their friends, so it's becoming like a whole big family event.
Tino Beach was the launch site for the boats, and there were many stories to be told by the anglers.
I almost wish I lived here. Everyone has been so accommodating and so nice. I've never met more polite people in my life. came last year, knew I had to come back, so here I am. Participated in the tournament. Didn't do as well as I would have liked, but had the experience of a lifetime. Today was the wahoo, and a 6-foot bull shark came up and ate the tail. Then he ate 2/3 of the fish, and while he's eating 2/3 of the fish, he's coming onto my boat. So his head was actually in the boat, mouth wide open, before he slid away, realizing he wasn't going to get any more. And there was so much blood in the boat, I had to look to see if I got cut, had fingers left. I had no idea what was going on at that point in time.
He says in the end there were no cuts or bruises, and although he went through that experience, the Bahamas is the place to be. Italia Hall, ZNS Total Sports.
Now, as the World Relay starts here on Saturday in New Providence in Grand Bahama, you've got the primary school track and field championships that's actually going to wrap up at the GB Sports Complex on Saturday as well. Rain delay creating that. But the bottom line is it's a great weekend for sports. It all starts at about, say, 4 o'clock on the ZNS Television Network. Tune in. I've got you covered, and we've got you from start to finish. That's your sport. See you guys 4 o'clock on Saturday.